Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Kratom Kingdom. This is your host, Chris Irving, coming at you from Knoxville, Tennessee. Today's video is going to be geared towards the newcomer, the newbie to Kratom. It should be helpful to those who want to catch up, or who, there might be some information in it that you just forgot about. But a refresher is never a bad thing. And because it's me, it's not going to be boring. Anyway, Kratom. Why do we drink Kratom? We drink Kratom because it's an analgesic, which means it relieves pain. I suffer from chronic fatigue, or chronic fibromyalgia, and chronic pain due to the residual effects of a stroke that I suffered in 2003. And I get migraines, and Kratom is the only thing besides narcotics which get rid of my pain. And rather than take narcotics, I would rather take Kratom, because nature before pills, or plants before pills, has always been my motto. So if I can find something that's going to keep me off of narcotics, I'm going to use Kratom to do it. And there's several different ways you can take Kratom. You can take it in a tea like I take it. Today I'm enjoying a nice train wreck that a company so kindly sent to me, and I'm assuming they sent it to me because they wanted me to review it, and I'm assuming it's coming from Krabbit, because it's coming from the same area that Krabbit came from. And Krabbit is by far my favorite vendor in America. And I have something very serious to talk to you guys about Kratom. I recently hooked up with a farmer in Indonesia, a very poor farmer. He lives in a grass hut with his family, with his children, and he's barely making it. So he's using Kratom as his cash crop, and I paid a decent amount for 4 pounds of Kratom, but he's under the impression that I'm a Kratom salesperson, not a Kratom user. So I thought I was buying Kratom from him just to use it, and he thought I was buying Kratom from him in bulk to sell, which isn't the case, because I'm not a salesperson. And I think I would be a good salesperson, because I would be honest with my reviews of my Kratom, and I wouldn't jerk you guys around with prices. I would give you I would probably charge way too little, because I'm really bad about making money. That's why I don't own a business, because I would give everything away. Oh, you need some Kratom? Oh, let me send you a little package. I still might do it, but I live in a situation, it's called government housing, and I live here because I'm disabled and I can no longer work. And after my divorce, my wife took the house and the car and the dog and everything else I owned that I worked my whole life for. She took it because I was in the hospital after trying to hurt myself. So I was in an insane asylum, and when I got out, she had already had all my stuff packed up and told me I had to go. And the reason she wanted me to go was because she had met a man. She was an athlete. She was a pro cyclist, and she had met another athlete, another pro cyclist, who is from Greece. So he's very ethnic and culturally diverse, and she fell in love with him and got married to him the day that I got out of the nut hut. And I was wondering why she was having me sign papers while I was still in the crazy house. And then I found out it was so that she could get married, because she was pregnant. And all I ever wanted in life was kids. And my ex-wife held that from me. She didn't want to have kids because she was younger, and she wanted to keep her figure, and she wanted to continue racing her bike. So I never had any kids, which is a tragedy because I would be a great father, even in my current situation. I'm incredibly moral, incredibly ethical, and love kids to death. That's why I was a teacher for 20 years. And it's sad that I don't have kids of my own. So I'm hoping the next person I meet, I'm not too old to where they're gonna want children, or maybe they'll have children of their own, and I would be down for that. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, and I would love to have a kid that called me dad, and one that I can help fix their car with, one that I can help buy their first car. But right now, I'm living on $1,000 a month, so I need to find some other sort of income, and I would sell a kilo of Kratom for $50, I think. And I don't think I would make, there would be no margin for profit in that. But these people that are selling kilos for $50, they buy it in such huge bulk amounts that they get really good prices and they can afford to do it. If I find myself in a situation where I can do that, then I will do that. Oh my god, this video was about the beginning basics of Kratom, and I veered off. I am so sorry, newbies. So Kratom is a great pain reliever. It's also a great antidepressant and a great anti-anxiety medication. It's a homeopathic remedy. When people want to call it a drug, say it's a homeopathic remedy, because it's not really a drug. It's no more of a drug than coffee is a drug. And it actually gives you energy like coffee does. And unfortunately, you will always find me with a cup of Kratom in my hand, which makes my tolerance really, really high for it. So I've been trying to cut back to 1 or 2 cups a day, failing miserably at it. But there's different strains of Kratom. Kratom comes in different strains. There's like red, yellow, green, white, and mixed strains called Trainwreck. A strain is what color the main vein down a leaf is. And in order to, so you look at that main leaf, and if that main leaf is red, if that main vein is red, then it's considered a red Kratom. And red Kratom is really good for rest and for euphoria, and it's a really good pain reliever. White, on the other hand, has a white vein that goes through the middle of the leaf, and a white Kratom, for me personally, gives me energy, gives me motivation. And then green Kratom is one of my favorites because it gives me amazing euphoria. It's like taking a narcotic almost. It gives me energy, gives me motivation, lets me clean my house. It gets rid of my anxiety. Yellow Kratom is my least favorite because when I drink green Kratom, yellow Kratom, all I want to do is fall asleep. So if you want a nice Kratom tea before bed, get a yellow strain, and then that'll mellow you out and put you in dreamland pretty quickly. So, but it's not a good morning Kratom. What else is there to cover in Kratom? Strains, vendors, where to get it. There's virtually hundreds of places online now that sell Kratom, which is another reason I'm not so keen on selling it, because so many people have so many good prices and such good product. So unless I had something really special to sell, I'm gonna hold off. But there's tons. If you just do a Google search for Kratom vendors, you'll find hundreds. And never buy. There's a company called Moon Kratom, and they will actually send you a free sample of their Kratom, and you can try it for yourself. And I think that's a really cool idea. If I sold, that's what I would do too. They make little tiny envelopes of kratom and all different strains, and they mail it to you with a letter explaining what each strain is. And it's just a good company. Their customer service is second to none. They answer their phones. It's an actual building and business. I don't think it's run out of somebody's house like most kratom companies are. And they give you a taste before you commit to buying a kilo. And usually you buy it by the kilo, because, or 500 grams, which is a half a kilo, because that's about what they sell it. That's how they sell it. And a kilo should last you a month. If you're a heavy user like me, 2 kilos lasts a month. So that's like $200 a month I spend on kratom. But it is my lifesaver. And kratom is not a drug. I don't care what anybody says. It binds to our opiate receptors, which is what a drug does. But it's a natural organic homeopathic remedy. And I was on Amazon.com and I queried kratom, and it showed me a whole list of kratom, but it was books on kratom, and they had all kinds of herbs. It was really misleading. I thought they were selling kratom on Amazon, and I was like, whoa, this is getting mainstream. And kratom is getting more and more mainstream the more people that are finding it.